How's it going, you guys? And welcome back to ConstantlyVariedFitness. And in today's video, we're going to be breaking down Open Workout 19.2. Now this workout's a repeat from Open Workout 16.2, and it is a really fun one. It is a core blaster, so prepare yourself, make sure you're feeling really good, and we're going to break down step by step things to help you get prepared for the workout. So first, talking about the workout, it starts with an 8-minute clock. You're going to do 25 toes to bar, 50 double unders, 15 squat cleans at 135 for guys, 85 for ladies, and then straight into 25 toes bar, 50 double unders, and then 13 squat cleans at 185 for guys, 115 for ladies. Now, if you finish all of this work before 8 minutes, you get an extra 4 minutes added on, so now you have a 12-minute clock, and you do 25 toes bar, 50 double unders, 11 squat cleans at a heavier weight of 225 for guys, 145 for ladies, and if you finish it before the next 4-minute increments, the next 12 minutes, you get to do the same thing at a heavier weight, and it goes to the very last round of 315 for guys, 205 for ladies if you make it within the 20-minute time frame. But let's say, for example, you were on this round and minute 12 hits when you were on 6 of the squat cleans, your set is done, you add up the total reps up to 6 squat cleans, and that's your score for the workout. I also want to mention beforehand that the tiebreaker for this workout is as soon as you finish the 50 double unders. So if you do 25 toes bar and 50 double unders and get 3 squat cleans, that's your score, but you also have the tiebreaker time. So if someone ties your score of when you finish your last set of the 50 double unders. So keep that in mind when you're doing the workout, and don't just quit early 5 or 10 reps if you end up tripping. Get right back to it, take a deep breath, and finish that set, because it's gonna make a big difference on where you're gonna place, even if you don't necessarily finish it in a timely manner. If you get only 10 seconds to do 1 clean, still get that done as soon as possible. The tiebreaker is gonna make a big difference. Now, first talking about mobility, there are a lot of different areas that we could focus on, but these are the main 4 that I highly recommend you spend attention to. We've all done cleans, we've all done toes bar, we've all done double unders, so if you have anything in particular with your own body that you feel like, man, whenever I do toes to bar, my one shoulder feels really wonky. Whenever I do double unders, my left calf feels really tight. Attend to that shoulder, attend to that calf, but these are the ones that I highly recommend everyone hits before they start the workout. So the first one being your thoracic. Last time you guys wanted videos of the movements or demos of the movements, so you have an idea, so I'm gonna post a picture up on the screen so you can use that as an example as I talk you through it. So the first one I really like for the thoracic is laying in a quadruped position, so you're on all fours. You're gonna place a hand behind your head. You're going to place, with the hand behind the head, you're gonna bring that elbow and raise it up towards the ceiling, so you're opening up and twisting your upper back. You'll bring it back down so you're back to flat back. Raise it back up again, try to get your hand up high, or your elbow high. The goal is to do about 10 reps per side, really trying to think about extending and reaching and really trying to open up that thoracic and make sure we're not hunched over. It does make a big difference, not just for our cleans, but for opening up in the toes to bar as well. Next being your lats. Another big part of how mobile your thoracic is going to be is if your lats are locked in and they're really tight, you're not be able to get a nice big kipping swing during those toes to bar. So for your lats, super simple, you can foam roll your lats, or I also recommend doing along with foam rolling your lats is a banded lat distraction. So placing the band about the height of a pull-up bar, you're going to put your hand through it, you're gonna shoot your feet back and let your arm dangle as the band pulls your arm up, as your body leans away. You get a really good stretch on your side and help open up your lats. Do about a minute per side, maybe a little more if you're someone that knows that you have really, really tight lats and they affect your ability to open up and get a nice big pull every time. Next, being your hips. This one's a no-brainer. You need to have mobile hips, not just for the toes to bar, be able to get your legs up high. If you have really tight hips, it's gonna make it really challenging. It's gonna start pulling on your lower back, but also be able to get nice and deep and comfortable in the bottom of that squat clean. If you can squat clean, but it looks kind of iffy, once you're breathing hard and you're trying to do a heavy squat clean, it's gonna be really challenging to get in the bottom and get in a nice comfortable position. So make sure your hips are feeling good. I highly recommend couch stretch, super effective for your hips, super effective for your quads. It's gonna help make sure those feel really good and help you get in a nice deep squat. I would do about a minute each side, and then you're gonna feel a big difference in how low you can get and how comfortable you are in your squat position. Lastly, being forearms. This workout is a lot of grip. You are holding on to the pull-up bar for toes to bar, holding on to your jump rope for double unders, you are holding on to the bar for squat clean. So make sure you mobilize your forearms. Simple ones, just placing your hands on the floor and then leaning back is a great way to stretch them. You could also use a lacrosse ball and kind of put weight on it and use that as another way to kind of smash your forearms to get them ready. Or even a barbell. Just grab the collar, the end of a barbell, roll it up and down the length of your forearm. That's another great way to help alleviate any tightness you might have and help them feel nice and loose. So those are the 4 areas there's no doubt about it, you need to stretch in order for them to feel good and not just blow up in the middle of the workout. Now, talking about the warm-up. For the warm-up, you're gonna start with a 4-minute bike. You could also do this on the rower as well if you don't have access to a bike, but you're gonna do 10 seconds hard, 50 seconds slow, so you're gonna surge for 10 seconds, what we're gonna call it. So you're gonna do 10 seconds, about 90 to 100% effort. Really try to get your heart rate up as high as you can, and then for the 50 seconds, your goal is to go slow, try to bring it back down to a comfortable pace. Once you get back to the full minute, you're gonna do another 10-second surge, another 50 seconds trying to cool down, trying to catch your breath before you do it again. So essentially 4 rounds of that. The reason I like doing that is because it's gonna help get your heart ready for that high increase of the of your heart rate shooting up, because for the double unders, people tend to start breathing really hard. When you have your arms overhead and you're hanging, people's heart rate really shoots up high for the toes to bar. So make sure your body feels good and you're not just jumping into it cold and thinking, oh, I'll just do a couple cleans, I'll do a couple toes to bar, I'll be fine. Trust me, your heart rate's gonna go through the roof. The first time I did this workout, I was super surprised at how hard I was breathing, and it made it super challenging to brace in the bottom of that squat when you're catching the bar. So make sure you are prepared for breathing really hard and still having to lift a heavy barbell. So 4 rounds of that, 10 fast, 50 trying to slow down and catch your breath. After you do those 4 minutes on the bike, then you'll do 3 rounds, 10 toes to bar, 25 double unders, and then 3 cleans, and each time you do a round of the cleans, you're going to go up in the weight. So I would do 3 rounds of 135, 3 rounds of 185, then 3 rounds of 225. If you don't think you're going to get to the 3rd round, I would do 2 rounds of the lighter weight and then 1 round of the heavier weight. If you don't think you're gonna get to the 2nd round because that bar is too heavy, you might not even hit any reps. I would not do it beforehand, because if you miss, or let's say, for example, you're like, man, this weight, it's like my 1 rep max. I don't know if I'm gonna hit it, especially after doing all this work and be really, really tired. Don't try to attempt it during the warm-up and then miss it and then be like, oh, yep, if I can't hit it when I'm fresh, there's no way I'm gonna hit it when I'm tired. A lot of times people surprise themselves once they're really warm and their blood's pumping and their adrenaline's really high. They might be able to hit that for a few reps, even though it was their current 1 rep max or close to it. So if you feel like the 2nd weight is really challenging for you, I would keep it the same for all 3 rounds of that warm up. Just make sure those cleans feel good. Practice making them look nice and pretty beforehand. So that way when you get to the heavier weights, you start to get a little sloppy because you're tired, you're fatigued. They're still gonna be as efficient as you possibly can make them. Now, for movement efficiency, I have 1 for each individual movement. The first one being kip really, really hard. Whether you are doing the hanging knee raises or whether you're doing the full-on toes to bar, a lot of people, especially when they're trying to go really fast, they'll hang on the bar, they'll kind of lean back and use their lats, but they just kind of just curl up and then just touch their feet to the bar, so they're using a lot of core and letting their arms just hang. I highly suggest against that, because you want to save your core as much as you can so you're able to brace for the heavy squat cleans. When I first did this workout, my max squat clean was, I want to say, around 265. 225 wasn't too crazy heavy, but I missed the first couple reps because my core just could not brace, especially when you're breathing really hard. So make sure you're saving your core as much as you can. Every time you're doing toes to bar or the hanging knee raises, lean back as far as you can. Use your lats as much as possible. Keep your core fresh. Next is smooth double unders. When it comes to people doing high sets of double unders, or they hear that 3, 2, 1 go and they're super antsy and super excited, or they're super nervous because they're not quite sure how double unders are gonna feel for that day because they're not quite consistent yet, they tend to rush them and go really fast, trip, and they try to rush back to do their next set and they're just all over the place. Every time you trip, reset, take a deep breath, and then try to go again. And the goal is to stay smooth and keep those breaks to minimum. It doesn't matter how fast you can do your double unders if you trip every 5th rep. So make sure you are staying as smooth as you can on double unders. If anything, I would try to use that as a period where you can kind of refocus up before you get to the squat cleans, because if you're all flustered and falling apart of the double unders, you're gonna panic and rush to the cleans and then have a chance of missing the cleans. So double unders should be very smooth. Don't rush them. Find a consistent pace you can hold. Next, for the cleans, I highly, highly recommend wearing a belt. So I'm the kind of person that doesn't wear a belt at all when I'm training. I like to kind of make sure I'm using my core and building up my trunk stability and all that kind of stuff. I don't like to put on a belt just when I see a heavy weight on a workout or for my strength. But when it comes to a workout like this, where you're gonna be breathing really hard, your core is gonna be tired, and you have to lift heavy cleans from the floor, then I want you to put on a belt. It'll help you stay braced, help you stay tight at the bottom of that squat, especially if you're gonna be catching a dead bottom, because you're only gonna have so much energy to pull it up and you're gonna have to just shoot yourself underneath. So wearing a belt's gonna make a huge difference on how much you can control that bar in the bottom of that squat and then stand it back up. So if you're not used to wearing a belt, it's up to you if you wanna try it, but if you dabbled in wearing a belt every now and then, highly suggest it. It's gonna make a big difference. Now, getting right into the end of it, the mental game. So I mentioned it earlier with the double unders, but stay cool on the toes to bar and the double unders. If you are just falling apart on not only double unders, but the toes to bar, and you're trying to go really fast and you're risking the chance of getting no rep, I mentioned it on my Instagram live the other day. So if you don't follow us already, follow us on ConstantlyVariedFitness. We post a lot of stuff on there for you guys, but there's nothing worse in the open than getting no rep. If you're getting no rep, that's literally, you're wasting energy and you're wasting time. It's the worst thing that could possibly happen when you're trying to go as fast as you can. So, or you're trying to do the best you can and get the best score possible. So make sure on toes to bar, if they start to feel wonky early on, break them up. Do sets of 3, sets of 2, break them down to quick singles, whatever it is where you're not getting yourself fried and you're kind of all over the place, and again, getting a chance of no reps. Same thing with double unders. Don't just try to rush them and keep tripping all over yourself. Try to stay as smooth as possible as you're going through them. So these should be where you are staying nice and cool. They're gonna shoot your heart rate up regardless, and you have to get composed for a heavy squat clean. So if these are falling apart, the cleans are gonna be near impossible, or at least very, very, very difficult. Another one, be aggressive on the cleans. Now, I see a lot of people, even when, again, they're not tired because it's not in a workout, they're doing like a heavy strength portion where it's like built to a heavy clean or it's heavy percentage work. People get in their head, they're like, man, okay, coach said I gotta pull, and then I gotta drive my knees out, and then I gotta do this and that, and they're very hesitant with approaching the bar, and they don't feel like they're confident when they get to that bar. So whenever you go to that bar, tell yourself, I'm going to get this bar to my shoulders, I'm gonna stand it up. If you approach the bar with confidence and aggressiveness and you're going to hit the bar with everything you've got, you're much more likely to hit the rep and be able to successfully get the bar up. You've been doing cleans hopefully all year round. If you're less than a year of CrossFit, I'm pretty sure your gym programs cleans at least once a week, if not more. Cleans are like one of the most common movements in CrossFit. So you know how to do cleans. Trust what you've been practicing. Hopefully you've been practicing a good technique, and then hit that bar with everything you got. That's gonna make a huge difference on if you can make the lift or not, because again, people get hesitant with heavy bars when they're fresh. If you're breathing really hard and everything's on fire and your whole body's, aching, it's gonna be very, very hard for the squat cleans. So you have to tell yourself, I'm gonna hit it, I'm gonna pull high, I'm gonna stand that bar up every time. So those are my tips for 19.2. I tried to keep this video a little shorter than 19.1 because it was super long. But if you guys have any questions or comments on the workout at all, be sure to leave them down below because we get back to you guys right away. We are always checking the comments and making sure we give you guys quick responses, especially with these open workouts. So don't be hesitant of leaving us a comment because we'll get right back to you guys with any other advice that we have for you. If you enjoyed this video, you learned something new that's gonna really help and make a big difference, please leave a like. It makes a big difference and helps us out a lot. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe for plenty more. Not only do we do open videos, we also do a lot of videos for you guys on technique, mobility, recovery, a lot more fitness topics like that. And we'll see you guys in the next video.